Now, with that being said, yeah, politics play a role. And there are many prominent Republicans out there that are certainly speaking a different tune right now than they did in 2020, or than they did, in 2016. If you recall, Obama nominated a Supreme Court justice in the last year of his terms. And all of these guys now want to vote on Trump's nominee. But here's the problem with that. It's not an issue of whether Donald Trump can do it or not. It just shows you the hypocrisy with politicians in general.
Actually, it doesn't, Brian.
Okay, so let's start with Lindsey Graham, and then you could tell me why you think this is not hypocrisy. Lindsey Graham, this is him back in 2016 speaking about Barack Obama. Have a listen to this.
The last year of a lame duck president, and if Ted Cruz or Donald Trump get to be president, they've all asked us not to confirm or take up a selection by President Obama. So if a vacancy occurs in their last year of their first term, guess what? You will use their words against them. I want you to use my words against me. If there's a Republican president in 2016 and a vacancy occurs in the last year of the first term, you can say, Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president, whoever it might be, make that nomination, and you could use my words against me, and you'd be absolutely right.
Okay, so I'm going to use Lindsey Graham's words against him, and Lindsey Graham just said I would be absolutely right. So, JD, explain to me why I'm absolutely wrong when Lindsey Graham just said I can use his words against him and I would be right.
Okay, let's say that the Democrats controlled the Senate in 2016. Would Merrick Garland have been confirmed to the Supreme Court? The answer is yes.
I'm not asking you that.
There is a rule called the Joe Biden rule that if the presidency and the Senate are split, then you don't confirm Supreme Court candidate.
I'm not talking about law.
There's been 29 different Supreme Court justices confirmed in lame duck or presidential election years.
As I prefaced
Brian,
when I started this segment, I don't know if you heard.
You didn't let me. You just interrupted me, Brian.
Okay, but I just said I'm not arguing with you about the law. That's not what I'm talking about here.
No, what I'm saying is right now in 2020, the Republicans control the presidency and they control the Senate.
Never said that was wrong.
And if that was the case in 2016, when Merrick Garland was nominated by Barack Obama, had the Democrats controlled the Senate, Merrick Garland would be a Supreme Court justice right now instead of Justice Gorsuch.
Okay, so we're talking about two completely different things.
No, we aren't.
Okay,
though.
So if I could,
you're calling it hypocrisy. I'm explaining to you why it is not hypocrisy.
Okay, so I just played you Lindsey Graham's words.
And I think what's pretty disgusting is what Chuck Schumer did. Chuck Schumer, the first thing that Chuck Schumer did do
we're not talking about
when
Chuck
he
Schumer.
found out about the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg is he made a political statement. He made a statement about not filling her seat. He didn't even recognize her death. The first thing Donald Trump did, and this was caught on video, he said, wow, he was walking towards an airplane. He said, wow, that's the first I've heard of this. She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed with her or not, she led an amazing life. She was an amazing woman, and I'm sorry to hear that.
All right,
that's what Donald Trump, Mr. No Empathy, did, Brian.
Okay, so
when he found out about Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death.
Okay.
Now, did he make a statement the next day that yes, we have an obligation to fill her seat? Absolutely. And right now, if Amy Coney Barrett, who's most likely the front runner, who has 7 kids, 2 of which she adopted from Haiti. She's a Notre Dame graduate. She's 48 years old, from Indiana. But if she's the nominee, then you are going to have, because the next most likely nominee to vacate their slot is also a Democrat, because Stephen Breyer, who was nominated by Bill Clinton in 1994, is 82 years old, and the oldest Supreme Court justice ever was 90 years old. So the Republican Party, the Republicans in general, have a real chance to have a controlled Supreme Court for probably the next 25 to 30 years. If Amy Coney Barrett, who's also been vetted 2 years ago, if she gets nominated and she gets installed as a justice in the next, which could happen in the next 30 days. So this is a very, very interesting time for the country, Brian, and it totally changes the dynamic of the election. If Amy Coney Barrett gets nominated and then there is no vote, because let's say that Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski and Chuck Grassley and Mitt Romney and maybe Ben Sasse, let's say they all decide that they think that they shouldn't vote, then you have, if you're a Republican, and you can hate everything Donald Trump stands for. You can hate Donald Trump, but you have to vote for Donald Trump in the 2020 election, because then you have Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat up, and then you also most likely have Stephen Breyer's seat up, and then so the exact what I just described with having the 7-2 Republican Supreme Court would change to almost a 6-3 Democratic Supreme Court if that were to take place. So, a 5-4. So it gets very, very interesting for Donald Trump. I almost wonder if the Republican Party and if Donald Trump is better off waiting until the election is over, because it will force every single Republican to vote for him, again, even if you don't like him as a human being.
Oh, I'm sorry. I fell asleep there for a second. I dozed off. I apologize.
You passed out?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you pass out, Brian.
That was literally.
I apologize for that.
That was literally torturous.
That was torturous? Why is that?
I fell asleep. But I will say this. If ever I need to go to sleep, I just want JD to talk about the Supreme Court.
I love that.
That's exactly right.
And I'll tell you, that was the best sleeping pill I could have ever.
Okay,
That's
great.
much better than Ambien,
Great.
by the way. The only side effect of that is boredom. But anyway, so you didn't respond to the audio which we played, which is fine. I did. You didn't. When we play audio on the show, I like to get a response from you, not on 30 other things, but the actual audio we're playing. But that's fine. Lindsey Graham, I'm using your words against you because that's what the discussion was about. Wasn't about the legalities. Certainly Donald Trump has the right to appoint somebody.
Of course he does.
Okay, understood. I don't need you to go on another 5-minute diatribe and admit that. I'm not disputing that. What we're disputing here, at least what I'm talking about, I'm focusing on the audio that we played, which is Lindsey Graham, and we're using his own words against him because Lindsey Graham is a hypocrite. That's the definition of hypocrisy.